Alright guys, quickie today on the Leatherman OHT, the one-handed tool. I've had this since right around Christmas. I think I bought it right before Christmas. And I really like, this is pretty much the same thing as the Gerber MP600. And that is one of my favorite multi-tools. I really do like the one-handed option that this thing has. And so I bought this, considering it's Leatherman, better quality, compared to the Gerber. And not very disappointed with it, to be honest. Actually, I really like it. A couple little things I don't like about it, but overall, not too shabby for the money. This thing's going to run you around 60, 70 bucks. And one of the things you're always going to hear the Leatherman people say is, oh, well, you should buy a Wave if you're going to spend 80 bucks. Understood. But, the Wave and this are two very different tools. This is a one-handed option with one-handed opening of all the tools. The Wave is not that. So, as much as people are always going to say the Wave is better value, this is a purpose-designed tool that is very different from the Wave. Not knocking the Wave, not saying it's not worth the money, it's actually a really good value, but in the end, this is a multi-tool you buy for the one-handed option. And this works just like the Gerber. Just a little flick of the wrist, we'll bring that out. Spring-loaded plier. Really cool, simple. Replaceable 154 cm cutters there. You have your needle-nose plier. You can see there how it has that end, that very kind of little accurate end. So there is a little daylight there, but you got that end where it's for really fine grasping. If you're trying to grab small wire or things like that, very good little grasper there. Your opening for nuts and bolts. To close it, you can see you have these here. You're just going to pull that in and close it. Now, one thing you are going to know is opening this can be a little difficult sometimes, because if you do squeeze it or do whatever, you can prevent it from opening. So it does take a little practice to learn. Just kind of hold it loosely and flick it. Because once you squeeze it, you lose that ability to close. Of course, you can close it one-handed as well. You can just kind of pull it back. You can let gravity do the trick. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, depending on what you want to do. There's also this little lock here, which is pretty stupid. It comes undone in my pocket all the time, but that will prevent it from coming out. But same thing. You can open this multiple different ways one-handed. You can close it multiple different ways one-handed. This thing is just really, really versatile. So, I should lock this up while we do it. Another thing to note offhand, guys, if you do get the black oxide version, it's going to come off on your hands terrible. So my recommendation to you is to take this thing, put it in the sink with some dish soap, really wipe it down with a rag really, really super hard. Do that 2 or 3 times, and then dry this thing very thoroughly. Like dry it with a hair dryer or something like that to make sure it gets nice and dry, because that black oxide will come off for days and days and days if you don't. Just get rid of it. I just used warm dish soap, water, rag, and just wiped and wiped and wiped. Like I said, got done. Towel dried it, used the hair dryer. I think I put it in the sun, to make sure to get this thing nice and super, super dry. Oiled it really well. No issues with any corrosion or anything like that. All your tools are one-handed as well. See, you have your opener there. Little small screwdriver. 3D Phillips head. These all also have liner locks as well. Each tool has a liner lock. You see I have a lot of lube in there. And big flat head. Whoops. Little butterfingers today. You can see as those open up, they all lock out at the end. Makes them very easy to use, so nothing's getting in the way. The 3D Phillips head, 3D Phillips head is actually really good. Down on this end, you're going to have your blade, 420 HT. Opens and locks very well. A little bit of blade play there, but nothing too crazy. You got your package opener, a oxygen wrench, and another little flat top you can use there. That actually works really nice. It's I've used it. I've cut some like paracord, some nylon, stuff like that. It's not bad. You're gonna have to sharpen it. Get in there with a little piece of sandpaper and sharpen it up. It's not gonna come very sharp to you. So. Sorry guys, this thing's super oily. Your serrated blade, which is chisel ground. Not bad. I'm not a big fan of the serrated blades. Last but not least, a little mini saw. So yeah, good set of tools. We'll kind of butterfly these so you can see them all. And we'll talk a little bit. Alright. So, good variety of tools. You know, the blade is shorter than a lot of Leathermans you're going to have, but that's of course because it has to have room for that mechanism. No problem there. I don't need a tremendous blade on my multi-tool. I'm fine with that. A lot of people criticize it. No issue with me. You know, the blade on the multi-tool is really just kind of a backup for me. The serrated blade, you know, I don't use them a ton. It's very rare I use them. And 9 times out of 10 I only use them because I'm doing something I don't want to ruin my knife with. You know, and they're there. The package opener seatbelt cutter is actually really good. The fact that you can get to that one-handed quickly is dynamite. It's something, you know, that's the thing with a lot of multi-tools. You can't get to that stuff quick. This is something you can just pop right open. The saw is okay. You know, it could be a little longer. That's what she said. Of course, but in the end it will get the job done for doing small notches and things like that you're going to do. This is not really, you know, like a wilderness multi-tool, guys. This is something more for like, yeah, this is something more for like mechanics, guys in the military, things like that, people who have that I need it quick, I need it now mentality. Being out in the woods, you know, it just doesn't fit with that vibe. This isn't a multi-tool I'd be bringing out to do bushcraft. This is something I'd be bringing, you know, if I'm working in the garage, I'm working on a project and I'm doing something I know I might have to just suddenly need the pliers, bam. I like that one-handed option. Screwdrivers are okay, you know, Leatherman screwdrivers are pretty good. You got the cap lifter and all that. Overall, you know, the stuff's all pretty decent. No major issues. And of course there are pictures, so you can see, if you want to know what is where, you can see there's the picture of the seatbelt cutter. See, there's a picture of the screwdriver, picture of the serrated blade, picture of the saw, picture of the blade, the main blade. So yeah, so it actually will show you what you have where. So when you look at this, you actually know what tools you're opening up. Really kind of cool and really smart. You know, it's not just some random design in the casing. So overall, guys, I like it. It's not an everyday carry multi-tool. It is kind of big. It is kind of heavy. The tool set is really kind of limited. But like I said, if I'm walking out in the garage, I'm working on my car, something like that, this is something I might throw in my pocket just as that extra tool, that extra little thing, that extra helping hand when I don't have two hands. You know, this is something I can just whip out those pliers super quick. I can get to all those things quickly. It's a lot of tools, one-handed, that I can access fairly quickly and put away fairly quickly one-handed as well. You don't see that with a lot of multi-tools. The MP600, you know, tries to do that, but a lot of the tools are kind of crappy. You have to open most, you know, the handles to get to some of the tools. And some of them are just kind of built really weird and awkward. This thing makes a lot of sense. It's just, it's not for everything. And there's always going to be those people who are going to have issues with it over the price. A lot of people feel it is overpriced. I don't know about that. I just think, you know, the Wave is such a good tool that it's tough to compete with. And being it's in the same price range, it gives this one a little bit of a bad rep. But overall, guys, if this is your thing, you like those one-handed multi-tools, definitely one to consider it and take a look at.